As long as we keep entertaining reasons to remain separate among ourselves, we will remain divided and conquered. I've heard many different arguments to the information that I've been delivering to our people. One of them is, oh, I'm a Muur, not a Moor. Meaning, in this person's mind, I'm an indigenous American, not a land stealer. So what they've been saying is that the Niji, the Indians, the Moors, all of these are the people who are on the American continent, and that the Moor, not Muur, the Moors are the people who came from Europe and stole this land over here. Well, before I explain to you why none of that even is a good argument at all and doesn't make sense, first, what you need to observe is that from the Europeans' eyes, we're all the same people. We're all so-called black people. So, again, we're divided and conquered as so-called colored folk. Secondly, the indigenous Europeans are what we call Moors. Now, they were exiled from Europe in 1492, officially. So, when they came to the Americas, which, if you are a student of history and if you're disciplined in your studies, you know that the Moors traversed through Africa and they actually came from South America to begin with. So, again, the indigenous Moors were exiled. The indigenous Europeans, what you now call Moors, were exiled from Europe to the Americas. Now, if you are calling yourself a Muur, an indigenous American, Niji, Hebrew Israelite, any of these names, but you're rocking a European last name, I'm going to be the one to tell you that it's because you're mixed with the Moors who were exiled from Europe in 1492. So that's why you're a so-called black person that knows intuitively that you are an indigenous man, but you have a European last name. Okay, so this is why we call ourselves Moorish Americans today. It's because we are a mixed indigenous people. And this is our land because we are the original peoples of this continent. Both the Moors who left this place and conquered Europe or established the first nobility in Europe, as well as the ones who remained here. Now, with that being said, here's my question to you as a so-called black man from the eyes of a modern day European. How long will you let your children be murdered and do nothing about it? How long will you allow our women to be killed and do nothing about it? Can you really consider yourself a man when you're allowing your people to be slaved before you? A real man does not allow men from other countries to rule over them. Now, with that being said, the issue at hand for the so-called black man is that he still thinks like a house nigga. Now, that house nigga is dependent on the European. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. These things do not come from amalgamation and integration. They come only from separation. Because as long as you're being ruled by another people, you will never truly get any of these things, especially not justice. So, with that being said, this is not hate speech. This is love speech. I love myself because I am an independent intellectual. As soon as we as so-called black people as a whole become independent thinkers, this is when we would truly develop love for ourselves. And once you truly love yourself as a so-called black person, you will love all so-called black people. And this is when you develop the heart of a national. And this is the heart of a national. If one of us gets hurt, you hurt all of us. This is what it means to be a national. With that being said, as long as you're being ruled by the European, you study their constitution, you will realize you're only subject to them. You're not even really one of theirs, because we did not form into a state when we left. So up until the 13th and 14th Amendment, if you look at Article 1, Section 2, Clause 3, what you will find is that we were considered 3/5 of a man. So you were like cattle until the 13th and 14th Amendment allowed you to be residents of the state that you reside in. So you became the nationality of that jurisdiction. So your people have a state again. Are you going to answer the ancestors' call? Peace and love.